Alrighty, here we are. So let me grab my controllers. They never tell you about VR. You gotta put the helmet on first, and then you have to grab your controllers. Like, where are they? Okay. Anyway, so today we are going to make ourselves what I said was like a Mad Max car. So I suppose spoilers and honesty, I did one last night, and oh my god, it was so much fun. It really was super cool. So we're gonna do another one now, and hopefully it turns out as well, because I really liked the one yesterday, which is always great when this is you're streaming your second ever doing something, because it's like, well, I hope it works. So I got symmetry turned on, and turn off that single. I built myself. I found a 3D model of a car, and I hacked it apart and made myself just, you'll see it's really ugly, but just a frame to build from. And I did this so I get things like the wheelbase right. You can look and see that this is really not a good model. Those are just placeholders. Honestly, I could replace the whole thing and it would be fine, but it just gives us a spot to start from. So this way I get my wheelbase. I have the, my ratio is relatively correct. I'm going to clean it up a little bit now, because it was not, my purpose was not to make something beautiful, because we're going to cover the whole thing up. I just wanted to have something that I could start from. There's no need to do this one into here, because I think I'm just going to only show the outside of the car, but there. Yeah, so there's our frame. That's what we're starting with. So we're going with kind of car as opposed to like truck. And we're going to leave that on its own layer. And create a new layer. Now, how I was starting yesterday, so we'll do that again because it kind of worked. Well, let me back up. There's two ways I feel like we could start. We could start just building a frame spacing wise, or we could kind of go with more of like a sketch and then fill. Maybe I'll do that. I built a frame yesterday, and it gets a little bit more of a round car, so it feels more like, I don't know, a Volkswagen or a like a 1950s kind of car, which is cool. I definitely like that. But maybe we should try starting on sketch basis first. Be a bit more, it's not so much more intent, because I know what I'm doing either way. But if we do that, then this one may feel more like it's kind of built with a roll cage. That's too tight. I don't want to go up that high. So go up that high. Well, no, we'll take it down. There. I want to feel a little bit more aggro than just, jump. So I suppose I should say, I'm not trying for any particular kind of car here. This is just a car. Alright, there's a shape we could live with. That's kind of cool. So I'm just going to make this down the center. Probably a little bit more of a consistent way of dealing with it than stretching the frame. Well, the stretching the frame was cool, so I'm glad I did it. It's certainly something I want to remember, because it was almost sort of like Gravity Sketch. Like, I actually got a nice sweep. I'll put both models in the final so you can see what I was doing. But this way, I feel like someone stripped a car, and we're actually kind of building it this way, like they just reinforced the crap out of everything. So that's going to be our car frame. It's a little skinny, but I think once we bulk it out, it'll be cool. So let's start now with some wheels. I'm going to literally reuse those cylinders that I used for tank treads. They made good wheels. And I'm on the reverse side. I see. I think I'm on this side. There we go. Now they're both green. Anyway, I'm actually going to turn off mirroring because it's easier to place these wheels one at a time than try to work all four of them out. I don't think we're going to go with... This guy's going to have giant wheels. It's going to be big. Like, I'm putting them out for a little bit from the other ones because I want to add on to them from the frame. So, 2... He's further out, but here's the advantage of this. I can move these individual wheels. 3. I have a dune buggy. 4. It's not awful. Let's grab them though. Move tool. Erase to full. Active layer only. So that way we won't mess with other things. I just grab the individual wheel. Place it exactly where I want it to be. Add a little bit more. And front. I like that one out just a little bit, so let's get it there. Okay, so there's our wheels are going to be. So we're ignoring the initial wheels from that base, clearly. Let's go back up to our sketch layer and go back to clay and go to that line, continuous, shrink her down, set our axle because that's what this is going to be. There's a line right down the center. Just so we have an axle. I don't know that I'll ever... Doesn't really matter, right? But... Axle. And we'll do the same on the rear, too. Line it up. Seems about right. Axle. It's a little off. Axle. So a little off. Let's do it one more time. Still off. That seems right. That's good enough. Wheel's a little off, but again, it doesn't really matter. I think that's fine. We're going to cover it all up anyway. I probably didn't need to give it an axle at all. Okay, so now we have, looking at, we've got our base frame layer. We've got our sort of sketch/structure layer. We've got our tires, or wheels, but let's call them, it's basically tires. Let's rename it to tires. Because I want to be able to texture this thing. So I'm going to try to keep my... Right. And let's go another new layer. And since we're still working on wheels, single, mechanical... Let's grab something that looks cool for wheels. I'm still not on symmetry. We want to go up one more res. It's still too blobby. That's better. Okay. And I say this every time, but I'm going to definitely say it again. The goal from this is not a perfect game asset model that we can use to play, you know, Grand Theft Auto Australian Outback. The goal is to give us a sketch rapidly that we could show to a producer or a director and be like, yep, that's what we want. That's not what we want. So we're not worrying about perfection here. And all right, let's start working into the frame now. Since we're going with it's going to be a much more of a boxy car than a rounded one, at least to start with. So let's grab a flat panel type thing, and we want to go continuous with line constraint. I wish it would line these up by default accurately, but not bigger. Not that bigger. Bigger. There we go. Okay, good enough. There's our front piece. So the advantage of this is kind of much like the hut that I made earlier. Oh, I want to put the mirror back on. Much like the hut that I did earlier, like last week. This is going to try to sort of mimic the actual construction of the car. So there's like a panel that someone's framed into this thing. Another panel. Another panel. So someone's literally welded these things onto this car like this. And that's how it's being made. So we're essentially just making a car. Just we're following the exact process that someone actually making a car would do. You know, only without an engine yet. See, it doesn't feel nearly as boxy and stupid now that it's starting to get some frames to it. To me, it's starting to get a bit more of an aggro, almost like construction vehicle sense, which is cool. I'm digging that. Let's see. I don't want it to have an open roof, I don't think. I was thinking about it, but we'll cover it. Yep. Let's see. Cool. Okay. So there's the start of our vehicle. That's our basic framing. I like it. Let's go with another new layer now. Now, do we want to cover the wheels at all? That's kind of an interesting question. I think maybe we do. Maybe we're going to do it this way. I've not tried this way before, but let's see. Turn on individual single. We're going to build in. And then maybe we'll do it again here. That's kind of wonky, but kind of neat looking, though. I kind of dig that. It wasn't really what I was thinking, but sometimes these things just do that. Do we want to do the same on this side? I don't think I will do the back on that side, but right. Excellent. That's just looking kind of, I can live with that. Cool. So now we're covering our wheels, and that gives us some cool places for like people to stand on and all kinds of shit, which will be neat. Now, let's see. Another new layer. I don't believe in glass when it comes to World Warrior stuff. I just don't. I think glass is the last thing you're going to have. But let's do some cool bars across the front. Maybe another one there. Cool. And make sure no stray bodies fly into our window. Ditto here. Okay, so it also keeps us from having to do the interior, because I don't really feel like interior modeling this vehicle today. Bigger one in the middle. So now we can just not worry about it so much, which is cool. Okay, so now our windows are covered. Another new layer. I got 20, so until I run out, I'm going to try and just do different parts on different windows to give me the most options for texturing things differently. So now I think we need to start building in some sort of cool bits. We've got our big, medium, our big and our medium shapes, or at least our big shapes are in for sure now. Now we need to start doing some other stuff. I don't really know what I want to start with. Maybe we need to start with an engine block. This is going to be, again, it's all smoke and mirrors, but engine block. Somehow it's just not a Mad Max vehicle to me unless the engine is sticking out of the hood. And let's give it a couple of these things just cause. Some brackets. There you go. And do we want to give it tailpipes? Those are kind of cool, like those like roadster tailpipes. That I don't hate. Okay, those are our engine parts. Okay, yeah. Now, another new layer. We got our engine. That. This is an interceptor of some kind. Long range or short range. This is feeling kind of more short range. I don't know that people are going to do massive road trips in this thing, although it being the future, the dark future, potentially so. Actually, it's this piece. I like this piece. So this is the multi-use of Photoshop brushes. You can think of this, right? So this is what we use for our engine. But now, I'm set it to continuous with a line constraint. I'm going to set it like that because it's easier to control for me. Now it's bumper. Isn't that cool? I love how you just like, yeah, it reads, but bumper. Maybe not in the front though. I'll try something else in the front, just to sort of keeping it different. Okay. More pieces. Let's see. So this is one of those vehicles that, like, okay, we want maybe some people to be able to. I'll go back to single. I don't know. So let's see how we feel how this looks. Now someone could hang on to that. Kind of makes it feel like it has rabbit ears though, which, yeah, maybe, but no. But let's see if we get a cooler looking shape for something. If we just kind of do that. All right, just make it kind of interesting. I don't know what it is. No one knows what it is. Doesn't matter. I'm going to leave those wheels open there so we can have some cool shots like this coming through. So I'm not going to cover that up. Now, does he have headlights? I'm going to say he probably does not have headlights. I think like they would have been there and we've kind of eliminated them. And anyone who's driving at night in this world deserves everything they get anyway. Okay, what layer am I on? This is just my like extra bits on the car. So that's the paint texture I'm going to use. So I can do this though. Thinking though we'll put some hooks there. And oh, did I lose? What happened? There we go. I don't know what happened. Okay. We'll put those hooks there. Right? Okay. Looking good. So he can grab something from the front, and we'll do the same with, he'll give him a trailer hitch. And I'm going to turn it up. Sometimes I still forget that I can maneuver these things and make it easier. There we go. It's on symmetry, but the way I just get it centered and it makes it a little thicker if I'm wrong, which is fine. Okay. Now, let's give him no, it doesn't want to do a door. That's too small. Too small. I could up the res, but I don't know. I need a door handle. This concept sketch does not need to be a finished model. Keep repeating that after yourself because it's so easy. Just be like, ooh, bits forever on this thing. And we do not need to do that. I don't know. I just love this piece. I don't know what it is, but it just feels really aggro to me. It's just a neat looking piece. And we'll put it there. And again, I don't know what it is. I don't care. It's cool. That's what it is. Okay. So maybe, again, we'll use it here. Shrink down a little bit just to hide that connection point. So things feel like that goes into some kind of a manifold or whatever. I used a car term. And I like these where they overlap like this though. That's cool. Maybe I'm gonna do, depending on what my resolution is like. Well, no, before we do that, let's give it, yeah, all right, I like that. Again, I don't know what it is. I don't care. Same thing here. Just to make those, give us another shape breakup. Feeling it. I think this is so far the best of my cars that I have made, and that's a nice feeling. I'm glad. How much more do we want to add to it? Honestly, I could call that done, and then it would just kind of move from there. But maybe we'll do a little more. We could go inside and give ourselves some sense of steering wheel. I want you're off. Steering wheel. And then maybe similarly give ourselves some sense of, let's see, seats. Not that they're supposed to be those things, but just so you can kind of see looking in the window now that there's stuff there. Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm gonna go here. Mirror back on. New layer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really going big on this one. And I'm gonna grab something sharp there. Am I on mirror? I thought it was on mirror. Weirdness. Okay, just increase that. That's a little soft. And what can we use to make that cooler? Let's do some of these. Nitrous tanks. I'm saying they're nitrous tanks. Okay. And we're giving it some more. Right there. Am I on... I'm on single. Alright. I'm just very, very small. That's why these things are a little soft. My initial model was not that large. Probably should have been bigger. I think if I continue to make more cars, I'll make a new frame that has a bigger base, and that will help us a lot with that. Let's see, some kind of a thing there. That one on both sides, I think I do, but yeah, it's fine. And maybe I will cover that up with that. To reuse the shape. For that. I like these just like sort of found shape things. So whoever's making this is literally just using whatever they can find to do this. There's no, there's no rhyme or reason. This is designed, but it's designed with spare parts. It's not designed with machined things. So it's kind of a little bit random. You can't really have a spare tire. He's not really big enough, but I'll put those there. It's just sort of something. Kind of want something here, and I'm not sure what. I could do a window, but I kind of like that it's a war machine, so there shouldn't be a lot of windows, but it just feels like it needs something there. Just gonna use my little handy dandy trusty rusty part thing here. This is that thing that I made in 3D Coat the other day. There. Yep. Cool. So now it feels like it's got a patch on it. Do the same there. It probably wouldn't be symmetrical, but since this is a concept sketch, and I'm probably not going to show the whole, you're not going to see the whole car. Although I might do a turnaround. But we'll just put a bunch of them on. He's just, there to, bump it up a little bit. It's got a ram. I don't know that it needs like spikes. It could have spikes, but I don't know that it needs spikes. Let's see. How do I feel about that? It's kind of neat. Just makes it a little bit more aggro. All right, sure. And then maybe, ooh, that'd be cool. Just to keep it from being symmetrical. It's got that, but it doesn't really need to see about the passenger side that much. So underneath that, there. Yeah, now it's a one-eyed car. That's cool. Cool. And there's our vehicle. You see, it's really fast to do stuff like this. And I didn't have a tremendously strong idea. There was no sketch you saw or anything like that before we're building. Just all we started with was just a rectangle with 4 circles on the side of it for just a wheel spacing, just to get my design to look believable. And from that, we have some kind of a Mad Max dune buggy road warrior sort of vibe going on here that I'm kind of enjoying. I'm going to take this into Keyshot and give it a quick texturing, and I'll probably do a turnaround too as a cartoon shade line drawing, and post it up in the comments on my Facebook and up on Twitch. And then I will take this video and put it up on YouTube if you want to watch it again. I really appreciate anyone who stopped by to watch. It's always cool to have people. I do these every morning, usually fairly early Pacific time, kind of between 7:30 and 10. It's my warm-up as I'm getting started before I go to paint for like really reels. Anyway, thanks a lot. I will be back again tomorrow, and hope you're having a good day. Okay, bye.